2012 in our R&D unit, and we have hundreds of patents on 5G. But for 5G, you need fiber. And as we are leading operator on FTTH, on fiber deployment in Europe, with more than 30 million connectable households, it's a key asset for the company, this fiber deployment for the 5G success. We are as well very cautious on quality of services on our mobile operation. In fact, we even are #1 on quality of services in France 8 times in a row. So we want to keep this leadership with 5G. 5G is as well a way to invent a new wave of services. And we are working with a large ecosystem, more than 500 startups through our Orange Partner Program. And we just recently launched a full set of financial services, Orange Bank. So you see, we have a wonderful multi-service connectivity. What is 5G? What can we do with 5G deployment on our mobile networks? First, for us, the key things, it's a more homogeneous experience. Mobile sites will help each other to have a minimum throughput under coverage. The second aspect, it will enhance the video experience because of the capacity of the throughput we can add with 5G deployment. But as well, it's a way for us to reduce the 4G, 5G network latency for different types of objects. And for that, we can do it easily deploying on our existing sites in Europe with the same grid. We have as well, and it's good here in Switzerland because it's a kind of Swiss knife in terms of connectivity. We can really adapt the performance to any kind of objects or any kind of business processes. Last but not least, we have to get a sustainable 5G. And for that, we need, of course, to have no superfluous energy. And for that, in Orange Labs, we contribute a lot to new standby levels in 5G called sleep mode. And we are really committed to deploy sleep mode level 2 and 3 very rapidly with all our industrial partners and like with Huawei. So you see, we have quite a good start. But how do we prepare for this 5G deployment in the different countries? We have already opened quite a number of places with a 4G, 5G network, private networks, in terms of ecosystem, to elaborate new multimedia services in our 5G lab in Orange Gardens. We have as well quite a unique place in Linas Montlhéry, where we have a place where all European cars that are sold in Europe have to go through a process of certification. And it will be the case for connectivity and autonomous cars as well. And there we already have a private 5G network up and running. We have as well a full campus, industrial campus deployed to test and understand the SLA, the service level agreement that will be asked by each company. We have as well to prepare a massive rollout. For that, we already have completed our performance trials. First, with the NSA, easier way to deploy, with the 4G, 5G end-to-end trials in Lille-Douai, north of France. But as well, we have been the first in Europe to deploy a complete pre-SA network in Valencia, in Spain. So it's quite useful to understand how we could move from NSA, a 4G plus 5G network, to a pure 5G network in the future. Last but not least, we were asking for new frequencies in Europe, 26 gigahertz, to be able to have a fiber-like experience, especially for fixed access in countries where fiber is not deployed to every household. We did that in Cluj, in Romania. So you see, we are quite prepared for 5G. And the good news is now we have really a good feedback on the 5G services. I was last week in a big event in France with more than 55,000 entrepreneurs with all the French tech, and we were talking about 5G because for us it's a way as well to give access to this ecosystem before commercial launch. We did that, an engagement with 280 startups and I will just perhaps describe a bit the three winners of this challenge, 5G challenge. The first one is quite obvious. It's a 5G jacket that will protect you when you work on an industrial site and to have the ability to alert the workers if any issues can happen. The second one, it's a 5G trolley. It has two kinds of use cases. First, of course, for you as a technician, you can have your tools following you automatically. But as well, if you go to a supermarket, it's as well a trolley that will be able to drive back your food at home. Third use case with takeaway, we had new 5G glasses where we can troubleshoot in distance any kind of expertise, and that will be quite useful for many sectors. 5G is as well a way to change our sense. The vision we have, and there we have with ID View quite an amazing 360 eagle experience. We have done as well with Vogo, good live broadcast with multi-view, zoom in, zoom out. And we have as well a new way to have a better sound. So we have worked with augmented acoustics and Blue Solid on this new generation of sounds. You see, we have many examples, and perhaps you will see as well some gaming experience this afternoon. Then from that, we need really to co-innovate with all the sectors. And for that, we engage with more than 1,000 companies. Why? Because we do think that there is a big value in the real-time enterprise, in this digital transformation of the society. I just put here some logos and some examples of what we are doing there. We are doing as well it because we have a chance in France that all the frequencies will be given to the operators in the 3.4, 3.8 GHz band. And it's quite good because we all know that the quality of services of 5G will depend on the spectrum allocation, and the wider is the band, the better the quality of services will be. So if you don't fragment it, then you give the opportunity to the operators to create kind of private extension on the public network. And through that, we are doing it already for, in the industrial sector, Lacroix, that is an amazing company building digital tools, and we do that on a new factory. We do the same with Schneider Electric on an old factory, where we want to renew their processes to new standards. Then we have as well some example on the transport sector, like with Renault for new cars, electrical car, autonomous cars, and with SNCF in a railway experience, in a new railway experience for the travelers and their agents. So you see many co-innovation projects, because 5G will not be only the one from the operators, it's first the one from our customers. And before launching 5G, it is mandatory to create a large ecosystem. From that, when will 5G arrive inside Orange? So as I mentioned to you, we are in a preparation stage, and it's a quite good journey, because from 2018, we have been able to co-innovate with many companies, and especially with different sectors of economy, as I mentioned. Now, in 2019, we have been able to roll out 5G in 17 cities around Europe to test it with different customers. And 2020 will be for us the commercial launch, where we have been able to differentiate the quality of services between 5G and 4G, not to be deceptive. So for that, of course, we still need spectrum on some countries, but we need as well sufficient number of smartphones and mid-range smartphones. We need sufficient coverage in these countries, and from that, we will be able to offer from day one an excellent quality of services to our customers. 5G will not stop in 2020. We are preparing already the next phase with the pure 5G standalone version, where we will be able, in a dynamic way, to attribute different quality of services to different type of objects and different business process. The journey is just starting for us, and we will love to see our customer enjoy 5G soon on our networks. Thanks.
Thank you, Arnaud. One of the key foundations of 5G is that for the first time, we have a single global standard. To share his insights on what it takes to deliver 5G, please welcome Luis Romero, Director General of ETSI.
So, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks a lot for being here today. I'm actually impressed because when people start hearing about standards, they just rush away through the door and say, well, no, that's not for me. I'm sorry, I'm going to try and dig a little bit inside the bricks and mortar of everything you have been seeing all this morning, before in the presentation, on how 5G is coming to be alive. And I like this of making 5G possible, because there's lots of expectations behind this. So again, I'm going to start my presentation upside down, so I'm going to start by saying thank you. Because I'm being said, yeah, the guy of the standards. Actually, it's you, the guys of the standards. I'm the guy of the tea and biscuits. And then you come, you put your brains together, and you're actually the ones making this happen, which is very, very important. Having the map where all of you are going to, or most of you are going to develop and make things plug in with each other, make it scalable, make it feasible. That's thanks to you. And you've heard all throughout the presentations how standards are being pointed at, because it's important that we think of standards. So again, thank you very much. And something we have heard also today is that for the first time, we are talking about 5G, we are talking about a mobile technology, which is not only meant to make people communicate, but a lot more. There are many, many real cases, and many people have already started to think, guys, there are more communication needs throughout. It's not just ourselves, and we need them, and we'll keep on needing them, but many other sectors. And we have heard many people saying, yeah, I know that this is going to make their business much better. This is going to reduce their costs of production. This is going to speed up their time to market. All this we know, but guess what? All these people know better. I think it's fundamental for all of us to bring these people to the table. We are already doing it at Standards. We are already bringing people to the table and actually pointing at many of the things you have already said, and will be continually saying, well, if you do this way because we offer you this capability, it's going to be so good for your business. But again, we need them to bring that need to us. We need them to bring all these new ideas, because we are actually delivering on a promise. And excuse me for representing my favorite triangle again. We have seen this several times, but this is the promise on which we are building, that we are telling our colleagues, you know what? The system I'm going to provide you is going to be this many times faster and this many times more reliable, and you will be able to put so many more devices all together and be able to manage those. This is our promise. This is what we're saying we're going to provide. And I guess you will agree with me that it's very, very difficult to try and build out a business model out of a promise if you don't touch the promise. So what it is that we are trying to do in the standards, well actually, what it is that all of you are trying to do in standards to make this work, getting together and saying, hey, let's try and bring some basic design principles on which we're going to run up and have delivered our 5G promise. And all around it is, yes, this famous 3GPP project where ETSI is part of. And keep on pushing the effort, because this started long, long time ago. And now the different releases of the standard, and at some point in time we said, well, the requirements and solutions that are coming here are already what 5G promises. So that's release 15 of the standard, and there's a clear plan that, fortunately, I see it's coincident with the market plans that are being shown today and all over the place. We are, actually, you are putting a lot of resources to make this happen. It's an ongoing effort, and if you see how much it takes in terms of number of specifications behind the standards and how this has grown from, you see the graph at the very early start, it was the very first release 99, which was 3G. It's just going up incredibly when you get to 5G. Number of members working on that, just the core, it's growing dramatically as well. That's all of you putting your resources, and this is talking about members, about companies. Not to say that some of these companies are putting several delegates to try and make this happen. The complexity of the system is growing exponentially. All this has to be put together, and it's kind of, not easy. But let me try to summarize a little bit what I think is the basic design principles we're thinking of in maybe 4 pillars. There are many more, but let me just focus on these 4, because I think it's actually resounding with several things I've been hearing today. Of course, new radio interface, and I'll come to this a little bit later on. Core network. Of course, how we are going to manage that network. And last but not least, enhanced security. A new radio. We've heard about a new radio. One of the interesting things is that we are now seeing the frequency band going up to the 100 gigahertz band. Never thought of before. I think it's the first time we go so far away before on top of the 6 gigahertz frequency band for mobile communications. More bandwidth, of course. Different ways of playing with the radio, new modulation schemes, new radio conditions, and what's more important, how do we make our radio access, our radio architecture flexible? Let me keep on going. Because 3GPP does a lot in the radio, and I want to introduce now ETSI as such, as a member within 3GPP, how we are contributing on top of 3GPP to that. And I said hardware, core network, where we are moving a little bit more towards the softwareization. I think we heard this word this morning. How we can go to transform the network. It's a new network paradigm. We've heard about network slicing. How are we able to give to each of our services needed their requested capabilities? How are we going to play with that? How are we going to softwareize the network, go from what we know of one box, one functionality, to COTS, hardware, and functions, software functions on top of it. That's an important part that Etsy is playing with. And also, how are we going to push all the core of the network closer to the radio part of the network? How are we going to minimize the round trip of the signal so that latency, and I didn't speak about latency before, so that latency reduces, and so that we can give specific services based on geography? How are we going to manage all that? We have an excellent, powerful network, flexible, complex. Now, we need to put a little bit more of our brains to try and get the right resources at the right time and avoid any kind of loopholes, any kind of problems in the setting up. How do we do that? How do we enable our networks to be able to self-heal when there are problems? When there's a problem somewhere, probably this will reproduce elsewhere in the network. What happens today? It's manually solved somewhere, and probably this learning is lost. And someone else has to come and learn again. What if we let that to machines? What if we take advantage of all artificial intelligence, machine learning technologies that are coming? And this is what we're trying also to get to. Have a framework in which management of networks and operation of networks is more and more resilient, more and more trustful, more and more solid. Security, playing several places. This diamond thing I did on purpose so that nobody can read the little nitty-gritty details, but actually what it comes to say is that we are growing and enhancing security capabilities on several different domains, from the home network to the visited network, to the data network, to the handset. Together with GSMA, 3GPP, they've developed not certification, but security evaluation scheme, where GSMA is developing all the processes end-to-end. 3GPP is developing the technical specifications on which tests will be made. And Etsy is working, of course, on cryptography. We are working on quantum key distribution and all other details that will be probably added eventually to what will be the 5G network. We understand it's very challenging, and it would be not fair to just leave the responsibility on yourselves. You have already a lot. I said I'm the guy with the tea and biscuits, so I need to be a little bit better with tea and biscuits and make things or help you being able to go faster. If you saw one of the presentations this morning, someone was saying, well, maybe we're a little bit delayed with standards, maybe we can do things a little bit better. That's what Etsy is committed to doing. And we are definitely understanding that we need to improve our development implementation cycle. Since we developed the standard, how can we go faster in implementing what's being written down in text so that we learn from the implementation and bring it back to standard writing? How we do that? And there's already some, let's say, examples on how we are progressing. One of which is enhancing this feedback loop, and we've tried with Etsy NFV, so network functions virtualization, and with one of the components, the management and orchestration. So how we do that? So We have standards developing on one side. We have an open source project developing in parallel, taking the understanding and taking the standard itself, developing it as the standard, and bringing back the results and their findings to the standard when needed in a quite fast feedback loop process. It's helping us a lot. On one side, to have some place where you can bring a concrete implementation, but on the other side, on getting a real, proven standard being delivered. Which means there's a lot we have to do. And we means the guys that work with the tea and biscuits and yourselves. How do we learn on these new tools? How do we learn on this new way of doing? Because let's face it, we've been developing standards for many, many years. We've been following a process which is consistent. We have a governance that allows everybody to come together and work on the standards. So how do you change a success story? Nothing's broken. Why should we change? It's true, nothing's broken, but I think we need to improve. And continuous improvement is imperative in our world. You know it better than I do, and I need to follow yourselves. So that's what we are doing. We're trying to help people build on the capacities, on the new tools, on the new open source or software development ways of doing, without losing what has made us big and good: our processes, our understanding, and our very solid governance. So I think it's time for me to summarize a little bit on the few things I've said all around standards, all around how we are developing 5G. First of all, we are committed to make it happen. We are not here just to write nice documents that will be dusting on a shelf somewhere. This is all to do with making things delivered. We cannot do it alone. This is a huge cooperative effort. And we means not only ETSI, not only 3GPP, not only the ICT industry at large. Now we are bigger. We're saying many industries are interested and very ready to embrace 5G. We need to go together. We need to embrace them. We need to help them. And we need to come to understanding with each other. The earlier we do that, the better for everybody. The faster the time to market will be. Progress in standards has been huge. It's going really fast. It's a lot of effort needed. And we will see that it's not only on our side, it's on everybody's side, but it's your contribution that will drive this work. If we fail, if we allow fragmentation, I'm sorry to be carrier of bad news, but fragmentation may mean that our industry may not go so fast, so healthy. So we need to avoid fragmentation. We need to stabilize strong, solid foundation on which, of course, innovation is more than possible. I'm not saying everything has to be standardized, but at least when we talk about 5G, we need to stabilize this basic layer. Continuous improvement. Yourselves, you're doing it excellent. And every time I go and see you, I'm amazed. We need to learn as well. We are subject to it, and we'll keep on pushing for that. Because at the end of the day, again, this is about business. This is not about writing papers. This is not about writing specifications. This is about being better and better in the marketplace every day, or every hour, as someone was saying this morning. This is our challenge. We are committed to delivering it, or actually helping you deliver it. and very happy to keep on helping on this effort. Having said which, thank you again very much for your continued support, and I'm looking forward to seeing a great success of 5G tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Lewis. The pervasive use of mobile video has placed huge demands on today's networks, and 5G will see this trend accelerate. To explain how Elisa drive profitability while serving an increasingly demanding customer base, please welcome Kari Lehtinen, CTO and VP of Technology and Architecture at Elisa.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone here. Next, I will tell you how we in Elisa have built our way to 5G and how we have built it in a way that it generates profit and growth for us. During the break, I met quite many people, and quite a few of you were asking from me that how much people are using mobile data in Finland. And I'm always happy to tell that Finns are using mobile data the most in the world. I think you have heard this quite many times already now. So, what is behind this? Why people are using so much mobile data in Finland? In our market, we have been able to enable mobile data usage and use of services, all services in mobile networks for our customers. How we have done it? Basically, we have been innovating in unlimited data and network efficiency automation. That have made it possible to people to afford to use unlimited amount of services, digital services in our networks. So, how that works and how it will continue. When people are able to use digital services in the mobile networks without worrying how much it will cost them, without worrying to use it, they just use it, it will increase the use of digital services. And when they use more and more these services, it increases the value they are getting from the connectivity. And when the value increases, also increases demand for the new digital services. And what happens next? There will be more digital services. So it kind of creates this kind of further cycle of connectivity demand that we see that will continue. And we have really seen that happening in our networks in Finland. In past 6 years, our traffic growth in our networks has been 11 times. So people have been really using our networks. And as you can see, there has come a lot of video-based services, and all the time there's coming more and more. At the moment, our users are using 25 gigabytes, more than 25 gigabytes as average in our mobile networks, and also in fixed networks. So we see this growing demand for vast, reliable, and high-quality connectivity continuing, like we are telling in this virtuous cycle of connectivity demand. There is one more thing that is also driving this need for faster connections, and it's us. Our human impatience. that's driving the need for faster connectivity. Because as humans, as you might know, we want that everything we use will be easy to use, it will always be a bit faster, it will be a bit smoother to use. It's a bit like you try a new car, which is a bit better than your existing car. You never go back. You want that one which is a bit easier to drive, a bit faster to use, a bit better user experience. And what is driving this user experience with new services? It's peak bandwidth in internet networks. So these two things are driving the demand for the 5G and creating the huge demand for 5G services and networks. We believe that we are well positioned when it comes to the monetizing this huge demand for 5G connectivity. Because 5G, it offers faster speeds, more capacity and low latency. And we believe that we are well positioned for monetizing that. And why? We have very high network density what comes to Finland in our biggest cities. Second, we have excellent frequency assets also. Frequencies are key always here. So we believe we have world's best capacity potential to handle this increasing data demand which is coming here. So that's why we have been also a forerunner when it comes to the 5G. We started quite early our journey with 5G technology, and we believe that when we start early, we learn faster and we understand better what is the value for our customers and what is the right time for these services in the market. We started with testing, trialing some 5G technology, the key technologies enabling 5G. Then, together with our partners, with Huawei, we modernize our existing networks to be 5G ready. We kind of give our customers and the people the first taste what it will be to use these gigabit level speeds in the networks. So, our next step already in summer 2018 was launching the world's first 5G network in Tampere and in Tallinn, Estonia. Tampere, Finland is my own hometown. And that was the world's first 5G network back in then. Of course, everyone of you knows that 2018 June, there was only a handful of devices available for the customers. So we were not yet able to launch the subscriptions and devices. But as a network, we started very early in Finland. So we finally launched our commercial 5G services in April this year. I think we were just the second after the South Koreans. So amongst the first ones in the world. Since that, we have introduced more and more devices to be available for our customers in Finland. There's few of those devices in this slide. We have a couple of more already for now, but it shows that we already have some devices available for our customers. Quite top-end models for both fixed wireless access and for the smartphones. That's how we are getting those technology leaders, people who want to test first and lead the world with the new technology to test our services. We have also launched our first subscriptions based on 5G. Currently, we have 3 different speed tiers available for our customers. And as you can see here, our model, pricing model is based on the speed tiers. So we have 1 gigabit subscription, 600 meg subscription, and 300 meg subscription available for our customers at the moment, both for the smartphones and for the mobile broadband to the homes. So, how this works? Or does it work? This speed-based unlimited model. We have very good track record showing to you that it really works. And we are able to move our customers to the next speed tiers, and our customers want to upgrade. So why is that? That is because when they are getting more speed from the subscription, and they are using more services, and the new big bandwidths are enabling new services for them, they are getting more value out of their connectivity. And when they are getting more value out of their connectivity, they are also willing to pay more for that higher speed. So already there we have our business case for 5G, and we believe that it will continue. But we are also developing new 5G services together with our partners, other operators, vendors, and startup companies, cities here. And how we do it? Our model there is based on these collaborations, based on the experimentations, and there's a couple of examples of those cases we are doing at the moment. These cases we have done with city of Turku in Finland, which is one of the largest 5G coverages in the Nordics and in the Europe. So first one is VR-based service for the elderly people in city of Turku. Another one is, for example, 5G-based connectivity in public transportation in the Turku area. And we launched that experimentation together with city of Turku only a couple of weeks ago. We aim also for continuous 5G network leadership. So our rollout has started from one of the biggest cities where most of our customers and users are. And we are continuing that rollout in coming months and in coming years. But our target there is continuous 5G network leadership. So how we are enabled to meet this growing demand and growth and still meet our financial targets and profitability. For us, it means that we have had to be innovative in our own network operations. And we have built several automation capabilities which enables us to do this and succeed here. For example, we have built capabilities in network management processes. Where do we invest our networks and build our network capacity? That's analytics-based solution which is driving our network CapEx investments. zero-person network operations center. For years now, we haven't had a single person in our network operations center. We have automated that operation for a while ago, but we have our service operation center there. We have also built intelligent automation of network planning and optimizations. So these has been the key capabilities we have built in our own operations and that are now well proven. Also, we have fully automated our fault management. So by doing these preventive measures, we have been able to reduce the amount of network faults as a total in our networks during the last 8 years. And what has been the results? The results has been excellent. We have seen 16 times increase in mobile data traffic in the last six years. But at the same time, the network faults that has been solved before they become visible to customers have decreased by 86%. And there has been huge increase in data throughput with this automated optimization capability we have built. What about our financial targets? There has been zero increase in our capex to sales percentage. So we have been able to handle our investments with these capabilities we have built. And our production OPEX has been also stable during this year. Basically, it has been flat there also. So excellent results seen here. So I'm happy to say that today we are the most automated telco operator in the world. And we already have a solid 5G business case and our services available to our customers. And we are also willing to help you all. So we are also offering these services and this thinking for all of you. So thank you, and let's continue discussion on our booth.
Thank you, Kalle. New services are key to the success of 5G, and our final two speakers today will focus on this topic. Mobile gaming is already growing at a phenomenal rate, so I'm excited that Juhani Honkala, founder and CEO of Hatch, is here to explain how 5G can take this to another level. Before we invite Juhani to the stage, let's watch a video.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juhani Honkala, and I'm the founder and the CEO of Hats Entertainment. We are a cloud gaming company, and we really believe that the games are, and the cloud gaming is, the killer app for 5G. On-demand model has already transformed the video and the music industries. People have easy access to more and better content than ever before. It's very easy to watch the movies or listen to the music you like these days. And the same is going to happen with the gaming as well. Gaming is already actually the largest form of entertainment out there. It's already bigger than the books, it's bigger than the movies, it's bigger than the music. And what's most important is that mobile is already the biggest gaming platform out there. It's better and bigger than PC and the console combined, and it's also growing the strongest. And we believe that the 5G and the cloud gaming will further accelerate this trend and make the mobile gaming even bigger and better gaming platform than ever before. So many people, they are talking about the 5G, all the benefits, etc. But what does it really mean? What are the concrete things 5G actually helps in gaming? What are kind of like new experiences it enables? So first of all, with 5G, we can offer completely frictionless modern playing experience for the consumers. People can play instantly. They don't need to go to the App Store anymore. They don't need to go and download the game. They can play instantly any game by just pressing the play. Exactly the same way as people would be watching a movie or listening to the music. So just pressing play to play. That's it. Also, it allows for people to continue playing exactly where they left off, and also allows for very easy sharing so that people can share their game sessions via WhatsApp or WeChat to their friends to join. Cloud gaming also enables that the games are working on all screens. So it unifies all devices and the screens together into the same ecosystem. So the mobile, tablet, TV, AR, VR, that's one ecosystem now. So people can start playing on one device. They can continue on playing on another. But that also enables completely new kind of gaming experiences where you can be connected to the same world or to the same gaming experience at the same time with different devices you might be having. Or maybe like you want to play with your family so that the one is connected to a gaming experience via a VR headset and the other ones are joining the same experience via mobile or with TV. So there are lots of possibilities how to really combine and what kind of gaming experiences can be made with this technology. Also, on-demand model makes it much easier to create platform-level esports. These days, games are forced to have their own esports functionalities in every game, but with on-demand model, it's possible to make esports that goes across the games, which makes it much more better, like better user experience for the players, but it also makes life easier for the developers. So really making esports more approachable, making it for everyone. Also, cloud gaming allows for better multiplayer than has been ever possible before. And this is a game we have produced ourselves in collaboration with a title from Japan. This is our first HATS original title, and it demonstrates the benefits of the cloud gaming. So we are running one game in the cloud side, and then we are streaming different screens for the players and also for the audience. So the whole, like the view, everything can be optimized for the use cases. And it's all very high quality gaming experience, real time, low latency, 100% synchronous, so that every player sees exactly the same state of the world. And HATS is the only platform so far that you can build these kind of games on. So this is an example how it looks like. So really multiple screens, each having its own stream of like content, but all screens joining the same game experience. Also, cloud gaming makes life of a game developer much easier. Developers are able to use the existing tools and the game engines with the unlimited capacity of the cloud. So think of like having unlimited games. You don't need to be restricted by the limitations of the device anymore. You can use as much memory and the CPU as you want. You can really create unlimited worlds that way. And also, what is really important is that developers are not going to have like cross-platform development anymore. That you can only have one target platform. No cross-platform development, faster time to market, reduced testing metrics. It's just easier for the developer, faster, and the multiplayer benefits and the architecture, the benefits of that for the developers are substantial, that making new multiplayer games, utilizing the benefits of the cloud technologies, it's so much better and easier than ever before. So the game developers are able to create games faster and with better quality than ever before. But then from the business point of view, what is really important is that this allows for a completely new way to acquire users. And I think this is the most important slide I'm going to show you today. That if you think today how people go and get to the playing games, they maybe see a game ad somewhere, then they need to go to the app store, they need to download the game, they need to wait for game to install, they need to launch the game, they probably need to sign up to the game, and in many cases today, games are so big that they are actually starting additional download after the installation. So this whole process can take 5 to 10 minutes. But what's worse is that in every step, you are losing people. So only few people actually go through the whole funnel. The cloud gaming fully transforms this to a friction-free user acquisition, where people can actually enter to the game instantly from the promotion, or the promotion can be the game itself. So there is no funnel anymore. There's no conversion drop. There is no waiting anymore. And that enables completely different kinds of promotions for the games. It significantly makes the user acquisition more cost efficient. And that way also social and viral discovery for the games become true reality. So it's a very major thing in the whole gaming, in the future of gaming ecosystems. And on-demand model also, it helps to create subscription economy for the games. If you think the music, the video, many other services are already using the subscription model, And the on-demand model with the cloud gaming and the 5G enables that also for the game entertainment. And that's very important because that allows developers to utilize different means to monetize and create more diverse gaming experiences than ever before. And really the best part that there's lots of talk that what 5G might enable, what it can do in the future, how it can and might change the world in the future. But the best part is that our service is here already. So we are the first and only game streaming service for the mobile and the 5G. And we are already out there. We are live in Korea. We are live in the US. We are live in the UK, Germany, Spain, Italy, Finland, Scandinavia. We are out there. And we are really the only one focusing on the mobile side of the business. Many other players, they are focusing on the PC and the console side of the gaming. We are fully and primarily for the mobile games, mobile connectivity, and really want to support all mobile-friendly business models as well. And we see that gaming is really a hero service for 5G. It helps operators to engage better with the customers. And we've been doing lots of partnerships in the telco space. We are working with the Vodafone, been working with the OnePlus. We actually run a 5G league, esports league, this year with Elisa in Finland. We had over 5,000 people in the esports finals, in the audience in Helsinki. We are working with the Samsung. We are working with the Sprint. We are working with the NTT Docomo, and also with the SK Telecom. So lots of companies do realize that the gaming is really a use case that really makes 5G more understandable. And it also utilizes all the benefits of 5G in full. The low latencies, robustness, availability of the networks. So this is very interesting, I think, for many of you here today. And it also creates many new opportunities for the telcos. That it's not only that the data plans and the 5G as a technology, that is the business case. You can think of actually creating value-added services that are part of the business, that are part of the 5G offering, and that are part to differentiate your devices and your offerings in the market. And this is really something like we look forward to have more and more, so that it's about really the content. It's not really about only the technical details. It's about what content is available for the consumers with their plans. And here is a video from one of our partners.
My name is Tom Cassell, also known as Syndicate, and today we've been testing out mobile gaming on Vodafone's 5G network.
I think 5G will revolutionise mobile gaming because you can start from your home and you're playing your game. You can get into a train, you can get to the office or somewhere else. Playing that game is going to be absolutely seamless.
5G to me is the best thing I could ever ask for. I need fast internet wherever I am, on the go, and to have 10 times faster speeds will be an absolute game changer.
We are very excited about our exclusive partnership with Hatch, the cloud-based mobile gaming platform built for the 5G network.
I'm usually a console player, so playing on the mobile network on Hatch has been pretty amazing.
Looking at the future in terms of mobile gaming, it's gone from 10% year on year for the last 10 years. It's gone up 14%. You know what? I reckon it will almost double in the next couple of years.
The latency was just non-existent. There was no latency. So the games are really fluid, which is quite impressive. Gaming with Vodafone 5G was an excellent experience.
So, that was it. So, thank you very much. And if you want to catch me up, like I'm here today, so please come forward and let's have a good discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Juhani. Our final speaker today is Dr. Thomas Anken, Head of Digital Production at the Federal Department of Economic Affairs, Education and Research here in Switzerland. He will show us the great potential 5G has to improve the efficiency of farming. Please welcome Thomas to the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure for me to bring things down to earth again and to discover a bit the world of digitalization of agriculture and to think about what's on your plates this evening, what do you eat and what's behind this food we produce or you are eating. And you see, it's not just idyllic, it's just not nature and flowers and so. There's a lot of technology inside all that, you know. And you see, the question is, where are we today and where will we be tomorrow? You see, a simple wheat field is quite a complex system. We have the plants with their characters, as we all have our characters. Then you have the soil giving the food and the water to the plant. Then you have all the weather conditions. Then you have pests coming inside. The plants get fever, they get a flu, or we have insects eating the plants. You see, it's a very, very dynamic system. And perhaps this is a reason why till now agriculture is still an analog business and not very digitized for the moment. But the potential is huge, and I think linking all these different parameters together, using cloud computing, with models, machine learning are technologies of the future which will help us to manage this better, to foresee a drought, or to see when we have soil compaction and to give the right amount of fertilizers. I think these are all topics to well and better handle these agronomic systems. So I would like to give you some examples to be a bit more hands-on, what's going on, where the problems are, how can you better manage our plants and our animals. This is a simple example. You see, we have to feed the plant as you are feeding each day. If you feed too much, then yeah, our belly is getting a bit bigger, but in the plant it's a bit different. If you put too much nitrogen on the plant, on the soil, then we have nitrate leaching. What you don't like, having nitrate in the water you're drinking, it's not the best thing. Or we have nitrous oxide then in the atmosphere, which is a greenhouse gas, what you don't want. So the goal is that each kilogram of fertilizer we give to the plant is absorbed by the plant and is transformed to proteins, which we can eat then in form of bread or whatever it is. So here is a simple regulation cycle. We have a sensor on the tractor roof, a computation unit, and it only makes the distinction between dark green and light green plants. This is quite a good parameter to know how well the plant is fed, and then we give more or less fertilizer to a plant. We can do the same with drones. A picture from a drone. In this side you see different colored areas means different nutrition status of the plants. And that's what I liked very much in Juhani's game, that the gamers and the farmers, they like the play button. You see, I had farmers, to me, we tried nice programs on PCs and personal computers. Farmers hate personal computers and they love the smartphone. Because they love to be on the field, they say, oh, I have a problem, and then taking the smartphone, oh, what are the weather data, which plant protection has been, which problem do I have with my fertilization status. I think this is the way they like to do, and the farmers always told me, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a data scientist, I'm a farmer, and the tools which have to help me must be simple. And I think the typical example here is that a drone in the future, flying a drone, push the button is not so complicated, then the pictures directly go to the cloud, are computed there, and the farmer gets the response in form of a fertilization maps, which he can directly use in his tractor. I think this new, easy way of doing things, that's what we can learn from the gaming industry, and that's the way of thinking. We still have to learn a lot. What can we do, and how do we understand these things? So then another issue is, another example is, you can use satellite imageries. It's a service already used in France. It's also for the fertilization of plants. You see the same colored. It's much coarser. It's not as fine as drone images are. And here in Switzerland, you have so many clouds all days. You will see it this evening or tomorrow. And when there are clouds, there are no satellite images. So it's quite a bit of competition between these technologies. But also, these pictures could be treated automatically and then transferred to the tractors to apply the right amount of fertilization. And then, a very different other topic. You all know that you have a very huge tractor. Here is an example of a slurry tanker. When it's full, it's over 20 tons. The sugar beet harvester can weigh up to 60 tons. And we are compacting the soil, everything is pressed together, and the consequences are soil erosion or ponding water, but it's not really good for the plant health. So what we could do is, just let's drive the tractors as railways are. With the RTK GPS, we are able to drive the tractors with an accuracy of 2.5 centimeters on each year. So let's put railway lines in our fields that we always are wheeling the same areas, and in Australia they are number one. They only have 10% of tracked areas and 9% without any compaction of the soil, so very good condition for plant growth. So this auto-steering system is very promising. It's not so easy to realize it, especially on the small Swiss field. And it's not only the material change, it's also the change of the mind. People have to believe, okay, let's use these new technologies, let's combine together. And they all know tomorrow not only autonomous car will come, but also autonomous tractors will come, and they will drive with a very, very high accuracy. And the result of that, you see here on the left side, untrafficked area, no track, and on the right-hand side, a tracked area. You see on the left you have a fine, crumbly soil, a lot of fine roots, so the plant can extract all the water and all the nutrients in the soil. And on the right-hand side is more rocky, you have blocks, you have less roots, so that's very harsh conditions for plants. And we are able to show that you can easily gain about 10 to 15% of yield when you don't compact your soil. And this is, in the same time, a good protection against climate change, because for you on the left-hand side, where the soil is crumbly, there the water can infiltrate. The water storage of the soil is much better. If you have storms or if you have droughts, the absorption is better, and also the water retention is better. So we also can deal with the issue of climate change to have a better and water storage and less soil erosion then. Here you see on the right-hand side a hoe working. You see a very intelligent one. Oh, it goes around the plants. So a camera is recognizing the plant. You see it again. Oh, yes. Oh, no. All the salads are still there. You see, it's a bit frightening. Is it working, the technology, or not? So this is the very first beginning of hoeing. You see, in times we had the driver. We needed 2 persons to drive a hoe, or it was handwork, you see. With a hoe, you had to go at each plant to clear it up. So it's a hell of a lot of work, and you see all these issues. How can you replace pesticide, reduce the amount of pesticide? We will not be able to replace all pesticide by mechanics, but we will be able in the future to replace a lot of pesticide by intelligent systems. You see different areas. So at the bottom left, you see an example where we can hoe between the rows, or then the last evolution that you also can read within the line. The next spot is that you say, okay, we still use pesticide, but we use them more intelligently. Here is the application on salad of fungicides and insecticide. If the salads are small, if you have to protect them, they only cover about 10% of the soil, so it doesn't make sense to spray the whole soil. It's just sufficient just to spray the salads. Very simple, that's it. But it needs quite a lot of development, but now it's coming, that here a common project. So these are all issues how we are able to reuse quite a nice amount of herbicide. Vision, another example of vision. If a meadow has hole, or this is also in a football stadium, if you have not the right weeds there or the right grass, you can treat the areas where it's not the plant there you like to. So here an example that you can overseed holes in a meadow where it's just earth and soil and no grass. You just by camera can detect the holes, and you have a seeder beside who is applying the seed at the right place, and this makes that you can economize about 40 to 50% of the seeds, and grass seed are quite expensive, so this for the farm is profitable. And now here you see one of the first autonomous vehicles for weeding. This machine is still applying herbicides. We are working on it to transform it to organic, to apply hot water or with a flame, that we can use this machine without any herbicides. And you see what we are struggling here in Switzerland, that this farm industry is still very analog. And you see they are dealing with how to step into this digital area. And I think this is also a potential of 5G, that you can say, we don't need the intelligence on the machine, we have all the intelligence in the cloud. And then the service and maintenance of the machines is much easier. If you have new software releases, you don't need to update the machines, you update everything in the cloud. And here for weed detection, machine learning is very important. So it will be much easier to collect all this data and improve the systems. So I think this is quite a bright future for these machines, to connect them, to collect the data and to learn out of data. And the new tools with this machine learning are certainly quite important step towards this direction. Drones are also coming. Switzerland is the first country which knows now in Europe homologation of these drones. So they are very interesting in steep vineyards. Here we see a small episode of a sprayer test. So a drone now for us is like a normal sprayer. And in vineyards, it's very interesting to use them, because if you have to go and make the application by hand, there's a hell of a lot of work. On the right-hand side, you see a helicopter for the distribution of small balls, and within these balls are wasps, which are used against the pest in corn. So drones already know have a nice present application in the Swiss agriculture. For the moment, they are only spraying, but they could also carry a camera and collect data, so increasement of the services, application apps and whatever. So using these drones for future applications certainly would be very interesting too. And then another example is the connected tree. If you know the water status in the soil, we know the weather conditions, the weather forecast, and the forecasts are getting better and better. When I was a young boy, we were happy to get a good forecast for the next day. Now we have forecasts for 3 to 5 days, which are already quite good. And I think we will have in 5 or 10 years' time forecasts for 2 or 3 weeks. Then you are much better able to program and to planify what is needed for your plants. And then you can combine different sensing units. plant sensors like the dendrometers, which is measuring the diameter of the plants. It's a very simple measure, but the plant is transpirating during the day, so the diameter decreases, and during night, when she gets the water again, the diameter increases. So a very simple measure. In an IoT network, you can use these measures, and you know exactly how stressed the plant it is. And then you can combine it in a sensor network and to planify your irrigation much better. We have several orchards running in Switzerland. We also have an experiment with cocoa in Brazil. And there we were able to show that it's easily possible to save about 30% of water. In some cases, we were able to economize about 100%. It's the same you at home. If you think the plant, this plant needs a bit more, I want the best for my plant, so I put more and more, and it has to be sure that it is. And the farmers are thinking a bit the same. And if you are controlling the system accurately, so you gain quite a lot of accuracy, and then you really can save water. So let's switch to the milk production. It's about 25 years since the first milking robot came in. And then we thought, oh, milking robot, it's never a story for Switzerland. It's too expensive and it's too complicated. And today we have over 800 milking robots in small Switzerland. This is really amazing because milking robot is easing the life so much. So on Sunday morning you can sleep in, the robot is milking for you, then you make a check after breakfast, whatever. It gives you family life back again, which you hadn't before. And the prices are so under pressure that the farmers really have to economize the labor. And so these technologies know quite a nice success. So for me, a very nice example. If technology really helps, then it is a success. We also have quite a high degree of automation. So feeding units, which work completely automated, are still state of the art. But we still have islands, though these different islands can't communicate together, so there are a lot of issues to be solved still. But it's amazing how well it already works. And here, on the left-hand side, we see the first 5G sensor from the company Autoso from China, a real 5G, and these narrowband IoT sensors, they certainly have a quite high interest of farming. This sensor is measuring the acceleration at the neck of the cow and the rhythm of rumination when the cow is chewing. This gives you an indication how well this cow is feeding and shows you the health status. On the right-hand side, you see another sensor. It's a holster with a sensor around the nose, which is only a pressure sensor, so a very simple tool too. But then each time the cow is chewing, you get a signal on the pressure sensor, then you can describe how well this cow is feeding. And you see, the more milk the cow has to give, the more the cow has to feed, the healthier it is. I always compare, it's a bit like our Roger Federer. He is a very good sportsman and he had a good training and he's becoming elderly and elderly. So the health status and the fitness status of the animal is very important. And we don't want to keep the animals only for 2 or 3 years. We would like to have a cow for 5, 10 or even more years. So now we have a competition between our farmers, which cow gives most milk, and now we had record, it's over 210,000 liters of milk of one cow during their lifetime. So this is also saving costs, that you don't need to change your herd frequently, but that you can work with the same animals for more time. Okay, these are some examples. You see, behind this bright green nature is already a lot of technology, and I think to bring these two worlds together, on one side you have the nature, and on the other hand side we have to manage it accordingly. I think this is our big challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas. And a huge thank you to all of our speakers today. I think it's been a very interesting session we've had. And I'm not sure, but I think this must be the first time in 10 years that we finished the plenary sessions on schedule. So an extra special thank you to the speakers today. We'll start again tomorrow morning, 8:55 in this hall. The round tables will commence this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and the exhibition area is still open. Enjoy yourselves and have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Bye.
Are you ready? Ready.
Let's start.
We are live.
Hello, world.
Days ours if we just take it. There's no reason we should waste it. There's no miss. Ready now for all that's coming. We're standing at the edge of all that lies ahead. We got it, the life we wanted. It feels like everything is going our way. I think we made it after all the waiting. It feels like everything is going our way. We put every doubt behind
Daniel,
us. All the hope we hold
what did you see?
Mama, a bigger fish.
It's called narwhal. Honey, Daniel is learning something new.
Oh, Daddy saw your painting. Daddy's black magic will surprise you. Place this order for my son.
Order confirmed.
The life we wanted. It feels like everything is going our way. I think we made it after all the waiting. It feels like everything is going our way. The day is ours and we can take it. Open up your arms, embrace it. Oh, I think we got it. The life we wanted. It feels like everything is
Sleep, baby.
going